didn't see you there. I was just sitting on my massive chair. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this chair. No, I'm joking. I'm going to be showing you how to make this printer. So yeah, it literally will print anything in quote-unquote ink. And it's definitely not fast, but it is so cool. I'm going to show you how to build it and show you how to operate it. So first I'm going to show you how you would operate it. So you take your large chest or whatever and you make an image out of these blocks. If you put something in there that isn't correct, it will be filtered out by going to this chest, and this is where stuff that doesn't belong goes. So please don't put stuff that doesn't belong, because it breaks it pretty much. It doesn't break it, it's not ideal. I'm gonna make a little Bob Ross ocean. So I need some white, you know, Bob Ross, he loves his clouds. Wah, 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 wah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so we need some green concrete. This will be our little ocean. Make sure you don't put multiple in a single slot. And then we're gonna add some water out in the distance. Yeah. And then I'm gonna add some highlights. Then we're gonna make a tree in the back. Now, let's add some clouds. No, Bob Ross and his clouds. And then let's add the sky, which will be cyan. And we have every concrete powder at our disposal. And then we just hit this button. And it'll start doing it now. It just dispensed a white. Guess what? Our first block was white. Should dispense another white soon. Let me just put these in my inventory, get rid of them. And why don't we get a nice little, you know, time lapse of this creating an image. Hello, welcome back. So we got it. It made my lake. Now, it doesn't look quite as good as it did in the chest, but I mean, I didn't build it. You saw the entire time lapse. This thing built this from the ground up. It's pretty insane. I'm gonna show you how to make it, and I'm not gonna like be building one on camera. I'm just gonna show you every component, how it works, and you know, just show you how to do it, because you know, it's a how-to video. I'm gonna fill the ink back up, and now be very careful while you're filling ink, because one time I was filling ink, making a message, and I placed a block right here, and it fell down, and it totally ruined the image. I couldn't scavenge it, and I had to do it again. But let's get into how to make it.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
So let me break this real quick. You can write like hi and stuff. You can literally write anything. Just make sure you have enough ink. That's why I have those so tall, is so I make sure I have enough ink. I would probably even place more just to be safe. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make this right here. This is your piston, and it should be 9 across, and well, there's nothing that's above it, so it should be 9 across with these pistons. and they're one apart with an observer in the middle, just like this. And so how this is going to work is, so place a block, and then place this piston, and then place one across from it, just like that. And then you add an observer going into a dropper, which has a hopper that's going back into itself. And then a comparator that goes into this piston, which goes into this repeater, which goes into this redstone line that goes across these. And then we have this bottom part. Now you just have the repeater that goes into the block, which will actually push the current down, which will go into here. And then you just make this go across, and this is facing into the piston that's going up right here. And this may seem like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but I'm gonna just do like I'm gonna do a little like scan over, and so you can see every part. So we just have the pistons just like this. It's pretty hollow on the inside. We got the observer with the red dot going into the dropper, which has the hopper that's going in there. You'd crouch with the hopper and place it in. You're just gonna want one block in here, doesn't matter what. Then you place a comparator coming out of there with a piston and then a block, and then a redstone line, then another underneath, making this like broken X pattern, and then all that. And then the next part you're probably going to want to start with is making this little thing right here. So now what you're going to need to do is place like a little piston with an observer next to it, just like this, and you'll place this right here, and then add some water. And it seems like, why is this water not spilling everywhere? But since water tries to flow out, since this is all flat, it'll just flow down there. And then we have an observer that comes around back with a little dot of redstone, and then a repeater into a block with the piston, and then make sure there's nothing above that, and then sticky piston, and then this thing, and you make that same little like not real X pattern, and then yeah, and then it goes through, and you are done with that. And now what this does is it powers this, the piston right there. So let me grab all these I'll need. So say we have the thing right here. We just, that's actually kind of hard to do when it's not in the air. Go boom, boom, and then into sticky piston with block, and then into block, just like that, just like a little circle. And then if something comes right here, push it out of the way. And now when you're doing this, if for some reason you're doing this up part and for some reason it's like double pushing, if you add both of them, it doesn't double push for some reason. So don't give up on your hope. And then you're going to make the staircase. Now the staircase is really easy. It may look a little complicated, but basically what you do is you take this and then you place your first one. So you go piston, and then I like to go boom, boom, piston, boom, boom, piston, and you just repeat that all the way up till you're done. And then you're going to fill in with one this way, and then across like that, just like this. Now if you're doing this in survival, you actually don't need these bottom blocks, so you can save a little resources. But yeah, and then you place a lever on each of these and then turn them on so they generate power. I said powder. And then add redstone. Basically what this will do is if a block comes here, it'll get pushed out because the repeater will go into the block, which will activate the redstone, and that's how it pushes it down. So one will be dispensed, it falls down here, the block activates that. I could probably actually do this if I get out some powder. And also do not try to do sand. I tried to do sand, and since when it touches water it doesn't solidify like concrete, it will not work. So you could even do it from right here, or you could do it from right here. It doesn't matter. And it'll just go all the way down. And how this works is when it goes all the way across, it notifies this, which powers this first, and then since we put repeaters right there, it's going to power this second, and then it'll go boop boop, just like a game of Tetris, except it's building instead of getting rid of. And then what your next thing you're going to do is add these pistons and make it to where they are above the extended part right here is above the repeaters, and that'll make it so that when it does the little thingamajigger it will push it out real quick, and then it'll land here or wherever it's corresponding to and just get pushed down. And don't be mad if it like doesn't make a good image, because usually it will. It's just sometimes it'll bug out, but I've only had it bug out once out of the tons of times I've done this. So yeah, it works. And you could even have yeah, never mind. Blah, blah, blah. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna make the sorting system. Now this may seem super complicated, but it's really not. I have a little version of it down here. So basically what you're going to do is, well, you're going to take a bunch of single chests. So just go like that. How you get single chests is you just place one like this, and then go to the side like that, over and over again. And make sure you don't use trap chest. And then you're going to have your large chest right here, and then you're going to have these feed all the way across. Make sure they're feeding that way. And this is where your discard will be if someone puts in something that's not an item. And then what you're going to do is add 18 and then fill in these. You should get, if you have a stack and you put 18 plus 4, just like that, you should get 42 left in your hand if you have a stack of them. So that's how I tell. And then, say we add, never mind. Say if we added one, since, it'll go into the 18, and once it hits 19, which will be one more, it'll let this cycle through. And how that's going to work is you have these, make sure they're facing this way with the little belly button looking thing, and then have a comparator, and then redstone, and then make another like little kind of plus with a hole out of the middle, so kind of like a donut. It's weird. And then a repeater, and this will take power from there. When it hits 19, it will power this block, which will power this, and then this goes into a redstone torch that's right here. And make sure before you add the pieces in here, you add these torches. So I'd recommend building this first, and then building this. That's how I went about building this right here. Is I built the circle first, and then I built this. I'll just let you look at this real quick. Remember, these are facing out that way. So is this facing into the chests. This is where all the blocks go. You can actually take these back once you're done with it. Remember, there's torches, all this good stuff. Then this powers this, and it happens so quickly that it just pushes it out. Yeah. Let's get a couple still frames. And now this part was the hardest for me. So once you have your chest here, make sure it's a double chest. Place this little 6x6 and keep the hopper right there. You see how there's a hopper there. Ooh, sneeze. Sorry if that was really loud in the mic. Place the button on the bottom left corner with a redstone, sound like a flight attendant, a redstone underneath, just like that. And we have a repeater, and this is a piston. And then we have a 1 tick with a 4 tick with a piece of redstone right there. Then it goes up and around. And there's no piston here actually, just a bit of redstone. And then it will go into this block, which will power up. I'm going to keep that block there because I'm scared that's going to break it. And then this will go into here, and what that's doing is it'll let you draw it out, and then once it's done, it'll let the stuff flow through. And then make sure these repeaters are facing this way. and we got a repeater there, and you can see this piston right here. Make sure it's sticky, and then you can see it just trails across back into this thing, and basically that's how it works. And then what you're gonna want to do is come down here, and remember when we were doing oh, I broke it. We were doing that little observer part where this would push it out of the water. Add a repeater with the block, and then a piston down, or a redstone down, and then just trail this across. These don't need to be delayed actually, but I'm just gonna keep them delayed because I feel safe that way. And then make sure that when you're doing this redstone tower, it's off, on, off, on, off, on, off. And then make sure the top one is off. You want to make sure this top one is off. So that's why I had to dig one into the ground. Have the repeater go into another block with the torch, and this will turn it off, which will make that one turn on, which will send a signal to up here, which will say, hey, you turn off, and then it will send another block into the battle and start painting your image. Hopefully I'm not talking too fast. Yeah, you might have seen Mumbo Jumbo do this before, and now the reason I'm making another video on this isn't just so I get more clicks or whatever, get more views, whatever. It's actually because his video wasn't a how-to. He didn't show how to do it. He just was showing off it, and it took me so long to try to figure out what he was doing because he didn't like show the insides and the guts of it. He just showed that he built it, and it was really hard to build this because I had to build it from the ground up just like he did. So yeah, that's why I'm making this video, is so I can show people how to do it and just make it a little easier so they don't have to go through the struggle that I did trying to build this thing from the ground up. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Now this is not the end. I'm gonna do one more look over of everything just so you can get kind of a look for it. Remember, that's a dropper, not a dispenser. And this works in the 1.15 update and everything. I'm actually in the 1.15 update with like stuff. So yeah. And it looks hella cool. And you can see, say if we put say a lapis block, which isn't something that will work in here, what will actually happen is it won't dispense anything. It'll just come to this chest. See? And it won't send off any blocks. So it is troll proof. Speaking of trolls, make sure there's no one in here because last time my road got griefed and I got really, really sad because they destroyed like everything I loved. Well, not everything. They didn't destroy my family, thankfully. God, that'd be horrible. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe, do all those begging YouTuber things, and goodbye.